Start the recording. Tonight, we are talking about manifesting. And manifesting is very, very popular in spiritual circles. So you've probably heard the word a lot. It's also become very popular in um, the non-spiritual circles. You'll hear people talking about manifesting all the time. And um, I really like this topic because one of my favorite sayings is create your own reality. And we do have the ability to do that. If you see the world as good, you will notice more good things. If you see it as bad, you'll notice the bad things. And so part of what I want to do is to get you thinking about how do you want to look at the world? Do you want to see it as working for you and helping you along your journey? Because I do believe that the universe is supporting us. And so the manifesting is really about working with the universe to co-create the reality that you want. And a lot of what we're going to focus on tonight is the way that you attract what you want is by feeling like you already have it. So by putting that out there, or you've heard of the law of attraction. The law of attraction is like attracts like. And so what you're putting out is what you want to attract. And so if you want more money, you want to be thinking about riches and wealth and having more money, because the other side of that is if you're focused on the lack, then you're focusing more on what you don't have. So if you're thinking about being in debt or all the bills you have to pay, the idea is that you will actually attract more of that. So another saying that you might have heard is where your thoughts go is where the energy flows. And so we want to keep positive thoughts and keep those thoughts moving in the right direction to continue to attract what we want. And so it's just like or very similar to when we talk about healing. When we do healing work, it's our thoughts that are making the changes or that are moving the energy. And so our thoughts help us manifest. And there's a couple different ways that you can go about doing that. And we're going to talk about several different ones tonight. The first step in manifesting is deciding what you want to manifest, right? And we want to tell the universe what that is. And it's important to be somewhat specific, but I advise not being too specific because we can get too caught up in the details and wanting to have things exactly a certain way. And that's not necessarily how the universe works, because we want to tell the universe what we want, but also not get too attached to how that's going to get to us. That's a problem that I've had when I've tried to manifest things is I might come up with something, um, but I don't have any idea how that's going to happen. And the idea is to detach from some of that and just allow the universe to take you in that direction. And it may not be a straight line. There can be lots of different directions that you have to go in. Maybe you want a new job, but the universe is leading you to get more training or more education or to learn something first. And so it might feel like, oh, that's not actually going to get me money. That's going to cost me money. Or, um, you know, if the idea of getting a better paying job. So we want to detach from the how, but we want to focus on the goal. So we are going to take a few minutes right now to write down. Um, you can write down as many things as you want that you would like to manifest. So let's go ahead and do that. And it can be anything. It can be big, it can be something huge that's like, I want to write a book, or it can be, um, I want a free lunch. Um, so think about a wide range of things. And as you're doing that, I'm glad you're all still writing. That's good that there's lots of things on your list. I want you to pick the top two things that you want to work with tonight. And one of these should be a big goal. Okay. Does everybody have two picked out? Okay, so we're gonna drop in and do a little meditation. And so I want you to pick not the biggest goal, the second biggest goal that you want to work with tonight to manifest. And what we're going to do is a little meditation to go through and feel what it feels like as if it's already done. So if you just want to close your eyes down, this is also going to be our tuning in and getting grounded for tonight. Take a few deep breaths in through your heart just to get settled in. And let's create a grounding cord that goes all the way down to the center of the earth to help you feel grounded right here and now. And release anything from the day that you don't need down this grounding cord. And the first thing I want you to do is think about this goal that you want to manifest. And notice, how believable does it feel to you? What is the percent that you believe that this is going to come true? If it's 100%, that is awesome. If it's anything less than that, or if there's any doubt or worry or fear, I want you to feel where that is in your body. So where is that portion that's not believable? And give it a size and a shape. And we're going to bring in your healing tool that you came up with last time. And come in and tap this doubt or unbelievability to disappear, never to return, to leave your energy in your space. And then let's bring your magnet tool or your vacuum or your cleaning tool to remove any particles, any pieces of this doubt that are still in your energetic space. Just imagine that they're being drawn away from you, out of your energy, and it's any of these particles we're going to send to the sun to burn up into pure light. And now think about this goal again that you want to manifest. And imagine that it is here. It is done. There is no way that this will not happen. What does it look like to have this goal here and now? What does it feel like to know that this goal is complete? What does it taste or smell like when you have this goal? And how does this version of you show up? This version that has completed this goal. Is there anything that you can do to be this version of yourself now? Take a minute just to be with this version of yourself, to thank them for manifesting this goal. And then we're going to gradually come back to the room. Notice the room that you're in. Start to move around a little bit, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes, and come back to the group. So if you just want to give me a nod or a thumbs up, could you feel what it felt like to already have that goal? Yes. All right. So that's what an exercise that you can continue to do when when you're going through your list of what you want to manifest. Think about how it would feel to already have that thing that you want to manifest. And and then we're going to go through a different exercise to also experience this, where we're going to share with each other. And we're all going to contribute to this idea or feeling that we are already there. So this is what I want you to use your big goal for, or the big thing that you're trying to manifest. Um, so what we're going to do is um, you're going to share with the group what your goal is or what you're trying to manifest, and we are all going to congratulate you as though it's already done. And so we're all going to do this at the same time. So one person, we're all going to unmute, and I apologize if it echoes a little bit. And we are going to congratulate that person and talk to them as though this thing is already done. So is there anybody that wants to be brave and go first? Q.
Because you
Yay.
already know what it is. Um, Okay, so I'm telling you how it feels to have achieved this. No, first I'm telling you
Well,
what it is I achieved.
yeah, I just want you to tell us what it is you want to achieve.
Okay. I am ready for a good, well-paying job with a healthy culture.
Okay, so for about a minute, we're all going to, I'll just give you examples. So we're going to say things like, congratulations on getting this great job that you want. Um, I know you could do it. We're so happy for you. So we're all going to do this together at the same time. Okay? So ready? Q, congratulations. I'm
Oh,
Congratulations.
so
awesome.
glad you got
Thank
this
you.
job. You knew you could do it. You were destined to have this job. It was
People that you
meant to
like
be
to work with,
yours.
Bound
You
to
worked so
happen, just
hard
a
for
matter of
things
that.
that you
time.
get to do
Yes,
that you're an expert in, not things that other people tell
you
you to
are
do, but
you are
things
going to
that
be so good at this
Perfect
job.
for this
It's
job.
it's the perfect job for you. Congratulations.
you get to work from home on the days you want to.
It's
You
working
don't have
out perfectly.
work pants.
All right. So, how did that feel, Q?
Fabulous.
Great. That's the idea, is that that it can be easier to hear it coming from other people sometimes than doing it for yourself.
I told myself also, but then I
Yes.
wanted to hear what you all had to
Well,
say.
that's good. And the idea too is that we're all doing it at the same time, so you may not hear specifics, um, but we're all congratulating you. So
Thanks, everybody.
yeah,
You're welcome.
who would like to go next? Tim, do you want to go?
Sure. Yeah, I kind of had a new career and job as well. Um, so yeah, that was one of mine.
Okay. So just a new job, is that what we're
Kind of a new career, new direction.
okay.
So
Um, all right, ready? Tim, this is so amazing that you got this
You
new
worked so
career
hard
that you
for this.
wanted. You deserve
You're
this
gonna
new
love it.
career. There was
You
no way
You
that
worked
it was
so
not
hard and
going to
you're getting what
happen.
you
get
deserve.
to pick the company, you get to pick your boss. Maybe
Just a
you just
It's
get
matter
to
of
pick
it's
your
time.
su
boss
such a good
fast.
position and you're making
You're
so
so
much more
perfect for it.
money and it's
You're
going
gonna
to
be
be
so happy.
exactly what you wanted.
You have all the training already, so this will just be an easy transition.
that's great.
Okay. Brenda?
All right, so I also want to get a job, but I have too many other social things that I like to do now that I've been retired for the second time. So I just want a part-time um, job that I get to do from home, or I can go to the office with, like you said, people that I like and a good culture, and it's fun, but that doesn't have all these strings attached. Um, and it's really on my time when I want to do it.
Perfect. Right. Congratulations, Brenda, on
Congratulations.
this perfect
Maybe
job
you found
where you
exactly
get
the
to
right
do
It's
fit for
whatever
great. You
you
get
you.
want
all
to
the
do.
freedom that you
It's gonna
want.
make
It's
you so
so
happy.
perfect, the right money
You
and
are
the
already
right
so good at doing
people,
that work.
and
You're
it's going to
gonna love
be
it.
so easy for you. This job just showed up and you didn't even have to do anything for it.
And the exact right schedule for
Congratulations.
you.
Is perfect for just the right people.
You still get to do the other things you love.
And yes, you've got plenty of time for the life that you want.
Thanks.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome.
All right, Cheryl.
quite a while to do a study, and it's kind of elaborate, and it's going to require a lot of pieces and people. But basically, yeah, I just want to design a study and execute that. That's what I want to do.
All right. Perfect. All right. Congratulations on getting your study
Congratulations.
Oh,
going.
this is so
It's so
amazing.
amazing that
Just
it
what you
worked out
wanted.
Everything
perfectly,
just fell into place
that all the
perfectly.
pieces are
People and
there, and it was so much
help
easier than
you.
you
You're gonna
thought.
enjoy the work so
Like,
much.
And it's going
do
to
all the
So good
be
at
so
it.
meaningful. There's
Going to
so many
benefit a
people that
lot
are
of
going to,
people.
yes,
It's gonna be so valuable.
and
Right.
it's so
So important.
enjoyable, so much fun to do. I'm so glad that you were able to make this happen.
You're gonna love it. You worked so hard for that.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That felt great. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a little weird to be having everyone direct attention at you, but I also think it's really helpful just to feel what that feels like
Mhm.
to have the support
Right.
of everyone else. I also think that it's really interesting that career is always a big topic. Um, so, so moving on to another piece about manifesting is gratitude. So if you think about it, what we're doing is we're telling the universe what you want, telling the universe what you want to manifest. And if you think about it, if the universe keeps giving you things and you never say thank you, it would eventually you could think stop like a person would if you were doing something for someone and they never said thank you, they never acknowledged it, then you would eventually stop doing that, right? So I don't believe that that's how the universe works, but gratitude definitely helps. So there's a couple ways that you can do this, and I want to take just a few minutes now to do a gratitude list and tell the universe what you're thankful for. Um, and that can also include writing down anything that you've already manifested in your life. So I want you to think about both of those, a gratitude list and things that have already come true that you feel like you've manifested. Did any of you have some things on your list of what you've already manifested?
Yeah.
What can you share, Brenda?
Well, this is a great one that you could relate to. Back when Bandit passed away, I went a year without a dog, and then I knew I wanted to get another Chihuahua, but I somebody had given me this calendar, a daily calendar of pictures of Chihuahuas, and so I went through it and I picked a picture, and it looked almost exactly like Dash.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything you've manifested that you want to share? Tim?
Um, yeah, I manifested a new career a few years ago, um, but I wasn't specific with what I was manifesting. So, in essence, I manifested a very good lesson. So, I had a phone call out of the blue from a big corporation, wanting me to help them get like their Portland division started. Um, and I thought it would have been great. Like it had excellent pay, benefits, and everything a corporate job tells you you'll get. But it was not the funnest experience.
Mm,
So I gave it a good shot, but it just wasn't for me. So it was a weird lesson in like what I got from it that I really appreciate was I got a very clear picture of what I really want. And even though I thought this was what I wanted, um, it was not at all. It just didn't make me feel good. Like there was just nothing gratifying about the job itself. But the
yeah,
experience, the experience was fantastic.
that's really interesting that sometimes we do manifest things that then don't turn out to be exactly what we wanted or what we thought. And I'm really glad that you took that as a learning experience to help manifest the next thing.
Mhm.
Because I've certainly done that and had times where I I manifested a job one time and it was awful. It was it was a terrible job and I spent so much time trying to figure out why did I manifest this that was and then it turned out so badly. Um, and I think part of it was just to prove that I can manifest. It was a lesson to show me it is possible. And it was a job that on paper looked great. And as soon as I saw the job description, I was like, that's going to be my job. And I did learn something from it, but I didn't stay there very long.
Mhm.
So,
I actually have a question.
sure.
I have this gratitude list, which is, pretty long, and I could have kept going. But what I'm wondering about is distinguishing between manifesting and, working your butt off to achieve something.
Well, they go hand in hand, right? So we're not just, when you manifest, we don't just tell the universe and say, hey, we want this, and then sit back and not do anything, right? So if you're manifesting a job, that means you still have to apply and do your resume and look for jobs and put effort in. So that is still part of it is doing all of the work.
It's kind of like that old joke about the person wishing that they would win the lottery and God or whoever finally saying, well, you have to buy a ticket.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So you can't just not do anything or sit back and expect that it's just going to happen. We do have to put in effort, but this helps us know where we want to go. It helps us set intention and helps us figure out where that energy is going to go. And so if you're putting the energy into what you want to manifest, it will come out there or it will show up there. So does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a happy relationship between the two.
Yes. Yes. So
hmm
you do still have to put the work in.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, a big thing has been um, I have like a mantra in my life. My own little personal mantra is singing horses dance. And my goal is to have singing horses and dance in my life all the time. And some of those are easier to achieve than others. So sometimes they kind of usurp everything else. Like it's actually pretty easy to find dance. Like it's really easy to find dance out here in Colorado. But I did leave a part of the country where it was not so easy. I moved here so that I could find dance easily. And then I've had to work harder to manifest having horses in my life and then to find musicians to sing with. And
Mm,
kind of in the past, I don't know, like this past summer, really, almost. I have all three things available to me.
that's awesome.
Like I know the people, I know the horses, I just need the money to pay for them. So it's like all the pieces they're like all lined up. Now I just need to be able to pay.
Yes,
Very interesting.
that's the next step,
Hmm.
right? But that is awesome that you have that as a goal. You know what you want, which is very important. And I think a lot of times if we don't stop to think about it, we can be just be kind of aimless and not know kind of where we're going. And or we end up, maybe just taking any job instead of a job that's something that we really want, things like that. Um, So the gratitude is very important. And then another piece that I want to mention about manifesting is around limiting beliefs. And so that is the next place to look at what do we need to release to get to manifesting what we're looking for. And so I wanted to share my story because one of my huge things that I was trying to manifest was having my own business and being able to do animal communication full time. And I was on my way towards manifesting this business, but I was so worried about money and finances. It was always in the back of my head. And I thought, what if I don't have any money? What if this or that? And so I had to look at the limiting beliefs behind that. And that helped me take the steps to move forward into actually manifesting um, being able to quit my job. So for the two uh, things that you chose to work with tonight, the top of your list, I want you to think about any limiting beliefs that you might have around those two items. So let's take a few minutes to kind of think about that. Cheryl, did you think of any limiting beliefs that you hadn't thought about before? Or,
Um, I guess the way I'm thinking of it is, you kind of have that tree branch, trunk branch system, but when you kind of look at the root, it's really the root of the problem. And what kind of kept coming up was, the unworthy aspect.
mm,
Everything kind of just stems to, what makes you feel you're worthy of achieving that. It kind of all kind of drain down to that.
that's a very common one,
Yeah.
comes up in all of it. And that was one for me as well. Did anybody else come up with anything that maybe wasn't obvious?
I think sometimes to go along with that, you're not worthy. For me, a lot of times I think, you already have so much and there's so many people that don't. So then sometimes I think, well, maybe someone else should have it instead of me.
Mhm.
So I think it's along the same lines, just sometimes a little bit different thought process.
That can be a limiting belief as well. That definitely comes up where, like, why me? Which is well, I guess that's the worthiness piece, but um, like we feel like we have too much, or we feel like we're already better off than other people in multiple ways.
Yeah.
What was
I
that,
got a
Brenda?
bug that just landed on my laptop. Oh, 1 second here.
All right. Tim, you gonna?
Yeah, I had one that came up that was almost like self-sabotage or like achieving something I want and then um being like afraid to fail after I have it, or kind of the not good enough part of it is more the root of it. But yeah, not
Mhm.
being worthy of having that. So I guess along the same lines. But
Yeah, but that makes sense though, that you
mhm,
get it, but then what happens,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Right.
I think for me, with the whole job thing, the two things that came up for the job thing were they don't want to pay me what I think I'm worth, and they don't want to let me work the schedule and location that I want. Like that their goals will just be different than my goals.
Hmm. Which that's less of a limiting belief because I feel like that's a true issue,
Right.
um, where it's top of mind of what's a concern for you. And so I would focus on trying to manifest, you don't know the answers to these yet. Hopefully they will negotiate with you either way, no matter what. And so focusing on the best case scenario that either they agree with you or that they negotiate.
Right.
Yeah.
I think more consistent with the rest of you would probably be like with my singing. It's like I definitely had those moments where like, oh, I found somebody who's a jazz pianist and he wants to get together, but what if I show up and, you know, he doesn't think I'm good, or he doesn't really want to get together again, or, I'm just not good enough,
Yes.
and can be really hard even just to take that first step because you like put things in place and then reality, you have to show up to find out if it's really going to work.
Right. Being not good enough is another big
Yeah.
one that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, let's see. There's another technique that can be used because um, when you say two true things, your subconscious believes that the third thing is true. So if you say something like for me, my name is Denise. Today is November 12th, and then say, I have my dream job. Um, you're telling your subconscious um, that this is a true statement. So that's another thing that you can practice doing is saying two true things and then saying the I have and what you've manifested. And so I'm almost done with my material. But one thing that I'm going to leave you with is I want you to go back through the list of what you're manifesting and write it again and say, I am so grateful and thankful that I have blank that's on the list. So if you want to take a minute, we can do that now. So I purposely didn't tell you that at the beginning, that when you were writing what you wanted to manifest, that you can just write, I want, or just list it. But it can be really powerful to say, I'm so grateful and thankful that I have, as if you already have it. So now we have time for any questions. Does anybody have any questions about manifesting? Or Brenda, do you have any comments or anything from what you've been listening to or studying?
So I shared with Denise earlier today. I listen to a lot of podcasts as I'm doing things around the house or in the car driving. And there's a podcast that I've been listening to. It's called the Manifestation Lounge. And there's hundreds of uh, things you can listen to. Some of them are like 15 minutes, and some of them are like an hour or longer. So I think that's been really good. I think the only other thing that I would add is I have always done a vision board at the beginning of the year where you go through a magazine or online and print pictures and you tape it or paste it to a board. And I've always put it somewhere in my office that I can see. Um, with goals or things that I want in my life on it. And I always find it interesting how I put the effort or thought into those things, and things, will come to you based on that. Um, so that's always been another thing that has worked for me in the past with goals.
That's awesome. That's a good one. Does anybody else have any questions?
What does Declan think?
I don't know. He wants something. I don't know if he wants to eat again or what, but he wants something.
Hi, buddy. Want to say hi to my kitties?
Maybe that's it. He's
Come here, come back.
he's wound up. Um, well, so the homework for this week is to pick a couple of the goals that you want to manifest and take a few minutes each day to think about what it will feel like when you already have that. So you want to just call in that feeling and sit with it for a few minutes of, I already have this thing that I want.
You said 3 goals per day, three
I,
goals
I
every
would I
day.
would focus on three. Yeah, three, the top three from your list, maybe. Or it can be a different one. You can choose different ones each day. It doesn't have to be the same one. And know that some goals take longer to manifest than others because it takes more work that you have to put into it, right? You can't get a new career overnight. It takes a little bit of time. So you just want to keep relying on that feeling and calling that in, especially if you get frustrated or you feel like it's taking too long, kind of try and remember what it will feel like. Okay, does anybody else have any? Oh, go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah, I just have a question. For the limiting beliefs, I was just trying to summarize in my head the tools that you taught us to, to kind of combat that. Last session, you taught us about the tool, and we did do that through this exercise. I
Hmm.
thought there were some other ones as well. I just
There
can't.
are some of, one of them is changing it into an affirmation, basically. So if your limiting belief is, I'm not worthy, you want to think of something that is true for you. So think of a reason, why are you worthy? And so you might say something like, I have all the knowledge I need to run a study. And so that becomes the kind of mantra that you state to yourself. So you want to think of reasons why that statement is not true. Um, and then there's also removing it, like feeling it, and then imagining it leaving your body. So it's like you're looking at it and and actually tell it, you don't have any power over me. And then the last one was tapping.
Mhm.
So doing the tapping, and that could be the best way to do that is probably, um, well, when I start tapping, I always start with, I love and accept myself just the way I am, and tap on the
Right.
meridian points. And then you can also use the mantra and say, I have all the knowledge I need in order to run the study.
Okay.
Um, something like that. So those were the four things we talked about. And if anybody needs the link to the limiting beliefs workshop again, I can send that out.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember because, as your brain is like sabotaging you, I'm like, oh, quick recall. I know there's a few, and then I couldn't remember off the top of my head. So if I can remember them off the top of my head, then I can access them more quickly. So thanks for
Yeah.
summarizing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Of course.
I have one little funny thing that I would like to share from having read some stuff about manifesting in the past. And I use this often, not every day, but I just find it amusing because it did in the beginning feel really um, not counterintuitive, but just, hard, which was I'm driving along and I see the light is green, and to not say, don't turn red, don't turn red. That I say to myself, and I say it out loud, stay green, stay green, stay green.
Mm,
And that's just sort of like practice of for, making, instead of focusing on the negative, to focus on the positive.
yeah. I love that. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
Right. And it
Thanks for
often
sharing.
works.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the same thing I do when I talk to animals. When I communicate with them, I try to tell them the behavior that we want instead of focusing on what we don't want. So that's a good lesson in a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, that's all I've got. We went through that faster than I thought, but um, hopefully it was all good information, and I will send out the recording for you so that you have that as well.
Sweet.
Oh, and remember, next time we're going to do spoon bending. So make sure you have your spoon or fork that is, I recommend going to Goodwill. And you can have a couple. Um, so we're going to practice. We're going to feel our own power and how strong we are. And so you want us, I would get a couple, either forks or spoons. Um, because what we're going to do is we still use our hands, but we're going to bend them, move them, and see how strong and powerful your energy is. So I just want to remind you of that for next time.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very fun. I don't have mine in front of me, but I've done this before and it's so, so amazing when it works. Yeah. I have a whole bunch of spoons and forks that are just all twisted up. So
Can you unbend them? Like take the ones that are bent and like the
not
opposite of
really.
bent?
I
No?
could I could maybe try that in our session, see if I
Yeah.
can undo it, but I've never been able to undo them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So so we're gonna do that next time. All right. Well, thanks everybody. It was good to see you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.